Welcome to Baba's Talk Show, recorded live in Gold Coast, Australia. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi barakatuh. Welcome back for another episode of Baba's Talk Show. I'm Hussein Baba. Well, like all my episodes, there's always an interesting topic. And today's topic is very, very interesting, alhamdulillah. And to assist me in this show, I have no other than the chef, Afshin. Assalamu alaikum, Afshin. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's a very interesting topic.
What
And
is it?
you will love it. Okay? You want to know what it is?
Yes, please.
The main word is women.
Oh,
Muslim women in Queensland.
oh,
MashaAllah.
mashallah.
And
You
listen to
have
this.
some
And listen to
strong-
this. And listen to this. Don't shake, okay? Cameraman is shaking now. Listen to this. These two, I got guests as a panel.
Yes.
They have achieved in their own respective field. They're very high profile ladies in Queensland.
In
And
Queensland.
most of the Muslim community know who they are. All right? So take it easy. All right?
Yes.
Okay. They all are married, so don't think about it. All right. Alhamdulillah. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay. As you know, in my previous episode, I've been looking for a wife for this guy, and so far there's no result. So if anybody there, or any parents who have a lovely daughter, he's a nice man. I've known him for many years. You know, you saw him in my restaurant review, my cooking shows, and also in my talk shows. So alhamdulillah, please, any ladies interested in him, contact me and I'll pass the message to him. Jazakallah khairan. Welcome back. Now, as I mentioned, we have a very interesting topic today. I'll repeat again. It is Muslima in Queensland. All right. To discuss this topic, I have three ladies who are well known in the community, and I'll start with the first one, who's on my left, Sister Galila Abdul Salam. Right. Welcome. Alhamdulillah.
Thank you very
Welcome
much.
back.
Thank you.
Oh, sister, I have to congratulate you.
Thank you.
You got an award, right? What's the award? Tell the viewers.
Order of Australia Medal.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. What an achievement. We're very proud of you.
Thank you.
We're very proud of you. And may Allah bless you with more awards.
Jazakallah.
And then to my right, we have Sister Nora or Dr. Nora, because she got a PhD degree. And next to Sister Nora is, listen to this, Princess Lasma. Is that right? Walaikum salam. Yes, I said princess, okay? I don't know how she got the royalty, where she comes from, but she called herself princess. Okay, alhamdulillah. And again, my co-host, Afshin. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Viewers, as I mentioned, all these three ladies are very well known in our community. That's why I chose them to become the guests, to be the panel, to discuss our topic of today is Muslima in Queensland. Why I specifically focus on Queensland? Because we are based in Queensland. So that's the reason why I'm working. It could apply to all of Australia, but let's start with Queensland first. Now, Sister Galila, you are with IWA. I know in Arabic it says yes, right? IWA is Islamic Women Association of Australia. Is that correct?
That's right.
That's
yeah.
right. I've known sister for many, many years, and I see her in all these events, mashallah. Very hardworking lady. The award she got earlier on, she got numerous awards before that. So, alhamdulillah, you can see the achievement she has done. Now, to begin with, sister, I'd like to ask you, are there any major obstacle, if any, for a Muslimah to achieve higher in the public sector or the private sector, from your experience?
I think the major thing is the culture, not the religion.
Mm.
Because if countries, Muslim countries, follow the Islam, Muslim women should be leading years ago, should be in different public and culture is controlling and controlling the than the religion.
I just want to for you to elaborate a bit more.
Yeah.
When you say culture, specifically, what culture are we talking about?
I think majority of Muslim country cultures influence the people more than the religion. Like we look at Indian, Arab from different country. And there is no single Arab or single country which is not influenced by the culture more than the religion. And we can see this very controlling in the Indian region and Arab, Iranian,
That's true.
all the Arab countries. So yeah, the culture is stop Muslim women for achievement.
Right, that's true. You see, in Islam, there's only one culture, which is called Islamic culture. Sadly, in some of our community, they mix their local culture with Islamic culture. Now, like this guy, Afshid, he's Afghani culture, but he doesn't mix his community mix. That's right.
Yes.
Is that true?
Very true.
In your community, like Afghanis, right?
Yes.
They use Afghan culture.
Yes, our culture is very strong and it influences the way people live their life more than the Islamic culture and the religion. It's very true.
So that's why Sister Dalila was trying to explain to us
Yes.
our back home, our culture is like supersede what Islamic culture is, or
It
or
doesn't
mix.
supersede. It's a mixture between the nation's culture and the country's culture and the local culture with the Islamic way of life.
Okay,
And it's not always the same.
okay,
How, like, for example, the role of women in a society.
yes,
If you look at this, most of the Islamic countries
yes,
and Muslim countries such as Afghanistan, Iran, or Arab countries, you can see that the women don't have the same role as the men,
that's right.
and it's not equal. When in Islam, it should be equal, and they should be leading some high roles in the community and the society.
Right.
But the culture of the country doesn't allow.
Okay, good. All right.
And
Now,
I'll give
back
example.
to yes.
Education. Like Islam encourage education for both male and female.
That's right. Yes,
All the way from Arabia to China.
that's right.
So,
Yes.
While in the culture,
Mhm.
woman not allowed to travel by herself.
Oh.
Not the woman places home. So what is the point of going and have education? That's all limited the woman to grow and achieve.
Right,
So,
right.
So that's what I mean by culture and religion. I just give one example.
Yes,
education.
please. Yes.
That's the education, which is one example.
Okay, good. We'll come back for more after we go to our next guest. Now, picking up what Sister said, Sister Nora, I know you have been to many places, many non-Muslim countries as well, and I see you on your Facebook everywhere with your handsome hubby, Alhamdulillah. Now, from your experience, comparatively speaking, having visited all these non-Muslim countries, how do you compare the ladies in Queensland and with these countries in terms of career advancement, social activities, career-wise, their status, education, profession, whatever it means. So how do you compare? I mean, comparatively speaking,
Yeah.
differ.
That's a really great question. I think it's really hard to generalize, to be
Okay.
honest.
Right.
I think, and that's the danger that we fall into it. That the reality is that Muslims in these non-Muslim countries come from many different cultures, and we pick up on that concept in terms of culture. So while they may be influenced by the host country, so
Right.
whether it's I grew up in the U.S.
Right.
I left the U.S. when I was 18 years old, and I went and studied in Malaysia, which is a Muslim majority country, and
Right.
then I married an Australian and moved here to his homeland 20 years ago. So I have, I guess, my childhood growing up in the U.S. and then my married life and family life in Australia. And we know that Australian Muslims come from 63 different nations.
Right,
So,
that's right, yes.
and while we can say there is perhaps an Australian Islam because Muslims have been here for generations, there's still, for the majority of Muslims, that culture that influences how, the status of women will be played out in real life. So, and that's in America, that would be probably in Europe. So I think that is the problem that we have. The major obstacle, and I think Auntie Khalila was exactly right, is the culture infiltrates, and it's almost a very deep-seated influence in how women are treated. So very much so. So you'll have some very progressive, families, and then you have those that follow Islam to that are devoted. Like my parents, my dad is an imam, and my mother is an ustaza, and they're very, very religious family, very devout family. But for them, Islam came over culture. So therefore, when I said I wanted to go overseas to study,
Right.
that's Islam. It's
Okay,
like go.
good.
So
Alhamdulillah.
it wasn't culture saying a women's place should be in the house. So I no go because my dad's imam. He
Right,
understand.
right.
My mother's like go. So whatever decisions that I wanted to make, this is when Islam is at the forefront. When we base Islam on our sacred text, the Quran, and the Sunnah, the Prophet Muhammad, we know, his relationship with his daughter. We know his relationship with not only his wives or with the women of the community. They were very important aspects. So the short answer to your question is that it really depends on the culture of the Muslim women within those non-Muslim countries. So you have some that have made advanced, remarkable
Right.
achievements in education, in their work, in the community, whichever fields they enter into. But then you have those cultures in Australia, in Queensland, in Europe, whether it's the UK or Germany or in America, where the family still feels that the culture of that family should be that the women, or gender expectations that she is to not work outside the home, that she works within the home. So it really just depends.
You see, what Sister Nora said and what Sister Galila just mentioned, it's turning around in the culture thing. Identity crisis. We're coming back to identity crisis. Because why? Let's take for a female who was born in Australia. Her parents were born in somewhere else, let's say Pakistan. And this lady is born in Australia. Now you have two different cultures to follow. And then when she starts working with the colleagues, and she had to mix with the other people from different part of the world, another culture. So there's three things. Maybe she marry a man from a Muslim man from another culture. Now, I keep on repeating is just follow Islamic culture. All right, so that you will not have a conflict with any of this culture as long as you follow Islamic culture. Now, okay, now we'll go to Princess. Princess, welcome. Let me give a brief introduction of Princess. She's very active in the social scene, and she assists in the she's a producer, a writer, and also you did something on cooking documentary, didn't you, some time ago?
I was part of somebody else's show. Yes,
Okay, somebody else.
yes.
All right, and maybe she'll do one show with me one of these days. Okay,
Inshallah.
right. All right. See, Princess, you are very, very active with the what you call social events in Queensland. You also take part and participate in these programs for Muslim ladies,
Yes.
right? Now, how have been their response towards these programs that you organize or you participate? And also, the second question, you might have participants who are locally born and bred, and participants who came from overseas may not speak very fluent English. Now, how when you handle them, do you see any differences in them, or how is they responsive towards your programs?
Right. That's a great question. Thank you for that question. So I'll just briefly explain what it is that I do in the Muslim community. I am a writer, a life coach, and I started a platform, global platform for Muslim women known as Muslima Mind Matters. So that revolves around advocacy for self-care, self-awareness, and just being more in tune with what you really need as a woman and what you want out of life.
Right.
And people often ask me
Yes.
what I use to do these programs. It's life experience, my lived experiences. I was born in a family that isn't Muslim.
Okay.
So I embraced Islam in 2012.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
And going back to my name, my dad's name is Prince.
Okay.
And so he named me Princess as a result.
Not the prince in America.
No,
No, okay, not the single.
I
alright.
come. My ancestry is Indian, born in third generation Fiji Indian.
All right.
So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
but yeah, Muslimah Mind Matters advocates for self-care, self-awareness, and when we talk about women's status, women's roles in the community and in her own life, oftentimes we look at how she balances her family life and her career. Where I come in is bringing a third aspect to it: how
Right.
she manages her own thoughts,
Right.
her own words, and her own deeds,
Right.
because that's where self-awareness then guides you
Right.
to make better choices. And I feel in our community, the response that I've received in the last 2 years since starting
Yes.
Muslimah Mind Matters has been generally quite positive.
Okay.
But I feel there is room for a lot more improvement, simply because culture
Uh-huh.
has programmed us
Okay.
to feel that we put ourselves last,
All right.
put everybody else first,
Okay.
and put ourselves as women, we take it,
Right.
take care of ourselves last.
Right.
And I think it's the self-awareness that then makes a woman understand that unless you fill your own cup, how
Right.
else do you then water the entire garden?
Right.
Because we are responsible for the future generation.
Of course. Of course.
And when we talk as an ummah about the ummah,
Right.
the ummah starts from the home.
Right.
And most times, as a woman, I've experienced women are each other's enemies. I feel that's where I come in to be of service, to bring that awareness, that self-awareness, that we can help each other.
Good. Alhamdulillah.
And empower each other to
Good.
be that force
Yes.
to then perpetuate a solid ummah.
Alhamdulillah. Princess, I'm very impressed with your reply. Now you touch on very interesting career women. All right, I'm surrounded by career women too here. Now I have Sister Nora, who is a career woman, and she's been working for X years. I don't want to mention it. All right. Now, in one hand, she have a career to follow, and then she have a beautiful family to take care of. Now, Nora, I'd like to ask you, how do you balance these two? The career and looking after your family. And mashallah, you have done well. Your children are educated, well educated.
And study too.
Yes.
Research.
Alhamdulillah. Yes, doing the PhD was not easy, a lot of research. So
It wasn't
yeah,
easy.
it wasn't easy. How did you manage to overcome all this?